Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one and done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
We may live over 5,000 miles from Lincoln Financial Field, but what we lack in proximity we make up for in film study, and each and every week we'll be bringing you in-depth film breakdowns from across the pond and the Sooner State. Welcome to On the Shane Page. I'm your host, Shane Haff. You can follow me on Twitter at ShaneHaffNFL, and I'm joined by BGN's own film guru, Jonny Page. Give him a follow on Twitter at JohnnyPage9. Jonny, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very, very well. I sound very happy because I just watched, what was it? I was getting very loose at the end. We're talking a game or two, but I watched Devin Moore from Florida, and he was last on like my top 100 consensus board. So unless I have a reason to watch anyone else, I am no longer doing any other film watching. It's all now just going through notes and collating rankings. And for anyone who's covered the draft knows that final report, hit submit, is like one of the greatest feelings, and I got that feeling literally 15 minutes ago, Shane, before we started recording. Yeah, so that's a very, very nice feeling. If someone tells me to watch someone else, unless they're in the top 50 or 60 of a consensus and I've missed them, they can wait till after the draft, because that is it. I'm tapping out now. So yeah, doing well, doing better than I was 4 days ago when I was cramming like mad. But yeah, I've got a lot done of late, except for the fact you hate the draft now. Despite doing it with us. How are you?
I'm doing good. You talking about just used to, my goal was to get through every prospect that would get drafted in the first 2 rounds. So on live draft shows, I could have seen them and talk about them intelligently. And once it gets into the 3rd round, you kind of lose that and you're talking more big picture things. But you could never count out the Patriots drafting some guy you'd never even heard of in the back end of the 1st round and spoiling everything. And you're frantically Googling who is Cole Strange.
Who is that? Cole Strange, that was it. The best clip ever, draft clip, is McVay's reaction to that.
Yeah, I don't even remember. What year was that?
Oh, God, but that was the great. That was McVay's reign when he was like, oh, I like him. Then he realized that he said something. He was like, oh, yeah, I like Day 3 guy. No, I really like him. It was such a good clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. I've went back and looked up in that draft 2022, where he was on the consensus big board, and it was ridiculous. Anyways, I'm doing good. We're catching just a brief little window here when you're back from vacation, and I have not yet left on vacation. And so we thought we'd try to record a show for the public feed, record a show for the Patreon feed. So, yeah, as I'm frantically trying to find where Cole Strange is on the draft board again, but that's totally irrelevant to this podcast. 79th. He was 79th, which is actually higher than I thought. Anyways, enough about Cole Strange. What we're doing today, the first of a couple shows we're going to do today. This one's live. It'll also be in the public podcast feed. We're going to talk through day 1 targets for the Eagles. Guys we would be okay with the Eagles targeting, maybe which direction we think it'll actually go, and we're just going to go through position by position for the sake of flow to the show. And then after this show, we will immediately record a show that'll release on Patreon this evening, talking through the same thing for, did we say day 2 or round 2? I couldn't remember.
Day 2.
Okay, day 2.
Yeah.
I mostly leaned round 2 in that, but I've got a few.
I've got enough to carry.
So, and then we will be snarkily grading some Patreon user-submitted mock drafts. So if you are in the public feed and you like the draft and you're not in the Patreon, come and check it out. Patreon.com/EaglesFilmRoom. You can grab a free 1-week trial and you can get that part of the show. And after the draft, we'll be having all 22 breakdowns of the Eagles rookies, so which we will post audio about that on the podcast feed, but we cannot post all 22 college film publicly so we don't get in trouble with YouTube and Twitter and all that. So the film will always be on the Patreon. So come check that out if you're a draft guy. Come check us out for a couple months while we get through all of that. And I don't know. I think you'll stick around, but you don't have to. You'll have seen it all by then.
Yeah, you don't have to. Nice if you did. But yes.
I mean, Johnny, I'm confident that if somebody joins, they're going to stick around. We've got great stuff out there.
Love it. Love it. And to be fair, we thought when the season ended, this whole thing might just crash, and it hasn't. So that's always nice. Yeah, the Patreon shows we have a little bit more fun. So we haven't, by the way, we haven't spoken draft like at all. This is one of those, I sort of hate the next 2 weeks because I just publish everything for BGN. I've got quite a lot coming up for BGN. I've got loads on the Patreon myself. And it's just like, oh my God, I don't speak about anything. And then for 2 weeks, it's just mental. But the way I do it basically is just like, I don't like to talk until I've watched everyone. So now I've watched everyone I want to watch. So now I can talk about it. But it means that we can obviously, we've got a lot to talk about, basically. There you go.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into it because we are going to try to keep this show on the shorter end. I know we say that often, but we're going to try to keep this one on the shorter end to give us time to record those other shows as well. 2
more today, so we will have to.
Yeah, so let's dive in. You want to start offense here? I think that makes
Yes. So we're just doing round 1, yeah?
Yes. So, Johnny, what first-round quarterback prospects are you okay with the Eagles targeting in this draft?
None. Yeah, Mendoza's obviously going one, and I actually didn't hate Ty Simpson, in all honesty. I didn't watch him in a great lot of detail. I just literally put on some like all 22 highlights. If anyone wants like a really brief highlight thing, we've had him on the show, but James Foster's website is unbelievable for that. It has a lot of just like, it's almost like a highlights package, but it's all 22 highlights. So it's much better than just like with touchdowns. And yeah, I didn't mind Ty Simpson if there was an alternative universe and the Eagles were looking for a QB towards the end of the round. One, maybe start a round 2. I could live with it. But yeah, QB we can skip. And same for running back, basically.
Wait, you didn't ask me what QBs I want.
Sorry, how many would you take? Carson Beck, obviously.
8 at Klubnik. QB
Yes.
1. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm with you. No quarterbacks, no running backs. I'm okay with the Eagles targeting in the first rounds.
Yep.
We'll skip those 2 positions. What about receiver, Johnny? Where are you? And by the way, we're trying to be realistic, so don't say Carnell Tate. He's not going to be there at 23. I'll say that there's some receivers that, like, hey, if they were there, it was a small trade up, go get them. I like them. But I don't think there's anybody that I view as a realistic player to be there at 23 still that I'd really be okay with in the first round for the Eagles. There's a lot of like slot guys that I like, but I'm not really okay with taking a slot in the first round. You've got Smith and you've got Wicks. So I ended up saying no receivers in the first round.
Yeah, we're going to, and one of the things I've done with my board this year, again for Patreon, I'm releasing 133 players, Eagles specific, but I put them in like different colors as if like whether I think they'll be reasonable, because I never like just not putting them on the board. Because then people are like, oh, where's Jeremiah Love? I'm like, well, he's there, but he's not really on the Eagles board because they're not going to take him. So I just like put him on the board, but then blanked him out, if that makes sense. Carnell Tate is obviously going very early. He's not falling. I think Lemon and Tyson are intriguing, but they're not worth trading up for because I think you'd have to trade up for both of them. I don't like either of them enough to justify with the Eagles' current roster trading up. Then the one I think could be there that I think is really interesting is Casey. And by the way, I'm going to pronounce about 1 million names wrong because I don't listen to many people about the draft either. So is it Casey Concepcion, yes. However you pronounce it. He is the one that intrigues me the most out of any of them that I think could be possible. But he's like 190, and I'm like, do you want that guy opposite Devontae Smith? I don't know if you want someone a little bit bigger. So I don't think they'll take a receiver in the first round. I think, again, Amar Cooper's the only other one maybe that people have mentioned, as well as Denzel Boston, but I think probably a little bit early on both of them at 23. I think with the current signings that they've made, I still believe A.J. Brown will go, but I don't think I see an option there, really. What about you?
Yeah, same. The Tate, Lemon, Tyson, interested in those guys, I think they'll all be long gone. The only way one of those guys is left, I think, is if Tyson drops with medical red flags and then it becomes a medical issue that it's hard to really appropriately rate that.
And if he does drop because the medicals are there, I'm like, not really a big fan either. because
Right.
there's a reason why he's gone. Yeah, I think I was when I knew. Well, I still think AJ's going. I thought AJ was going for a long time, and I still do. I was always like, yeah, round one's okay. Then when I watched them, I was like, yeah, they're not really the guy. I think Boston is the one that fits as more of like there could be an X like who could replace AJ. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think the way they've added the room to me seems like they're going to spread the ball around more.
Yeah.
So
I think they've positioned themselves very well, by the way. Like, you can keep AJ. If they trade AJ, I don't think wide receiver is this massive need. I mean, obviously, you're not pigeonholed into drafting a first-round guy. I do like KC Conception, but again, you've got another small guy that can't block, and he also has had a double-digit drop rate each of the last 2 years. So I'm kind of out on receiver in the first round. I wouldn't be a fan of any receiver pick.
Yep, and then Titan, I'm guessing there's only one. Would you, or would you not? Is it Kenyon Sadiq?
Yeah, I would take Sadiq. I
would as well. I don't think he's there.
Yeah, you don't get those elite athletes at the tight end position are really intriguing, and so lots of questions about his blocking ability in line, but he's willing to block, and so you can at least work with that.
Willing.
I think he would be really interesting to see in a Sean Mannion offense. So I would take Sadiq at 23. Again, I don't think he's going to be there, but I do think it's at least realistic to speculate he could be.
Yeah, I'd be very comfortable, actually, taking it like very, very comfortable. That'd be one of the best case scenarios for me in terms of who I like. And then no one else, obviously. Ours is, we'll get to in the Patreon for day 2. I don't think the Eagles will have any interest in him in round 1. And then we get into Shane, the position that I am so confident the Eagles are going to pick.
Yes.
So confident. I'll be honest. When I watched the edge, I was like, I think they're going to take an edge. And then I look at my second round edge board and I'm like, oh, it's massive. I look at my OT board and it's all round 1 to 2. I'm like ridiculously convinced they're taking O-line this year. And this year I'm okay with it. So are we in agreement that Fano, Vega, is that the shortened version? And how the hell would you pronounce the other one?
Mauigoa.
Do we agree they're going to be out of the Eagles' reach based on what you've seen consensus-wise?
Yeah, did you say Ioane?
Who, sorry? Vega. Yeah. Sorry, I called him by the end of his last 4 digits of his first letters of his first name. I talk it in code
also,
over here.
It's for some reason pronounced Venga, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah,
wow. Well, I have him in yellow on my board, meaning I don't think the Eagles will go for him anyway, because I think he's interior, and I think they could look at day 2 in interior. Fano, I just think will go. Unbelievable athlete. Consensus is high. He's not lasting. And the other guy that we mentioned, Francis
Mauigoa.
Yeah, he's like, is he right tackle? Is he right guard? I've seen some people say he's a tackle, some people say he's a guard. But I still don't think he'll be there at 23. So I'm sort of ignoring them 3. Am I correct, or is there a chance?
Yeah, I don't think any of those 3 would be there. I would sprint the card with any of those 3 names in to the podium if they were there.
Even the guard?
Yes.
I mean, I guess because of the positional value.
Yeah, I think Ioane is a fantastic guard, and I think the Eagles have a serviceable starter in Tyler Steen and a guy that's probably going to retire in the next year or 2 in Landon Dickerson. So yeah, I would love Ioane or Mauigoa, but I don't think either one of them is going to be there for the Eagles to take.
Outside of those 3, how many do you have that you would like, and how many do you have that the Eagles might take?
I've got 2 names that I like for the Eagles to take. The first one's Monroe Freeling. Where's he at? Is he one of yours?
Yeah, so I have my top 3, the ones we just mentioned. Then I don't have any others in the first round. But I have when I have tiers, I hate basically round 1 and round 2 tiers because the gap's too big. So I always do like a 1 to 2 or a 2 to 3. And that's like, if you're picking in the 20s, you're probably going to take someone in the 1 to 2, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So I have 4 guys in my rounds 1 to 2 tier, but I only like 3 of them for the Eagles. And Freeling is the top one.
Yeah. So Freeling is, I gave him a first round grade.
It's Blake Miller, the second one.
It's actually not.
It's Iheanacho. Is that how you pronounce his name?
It's my other one is Proctor.
Wow, okay.
Which I know there's some dissenting opinions about Proctor.
As in you would take or you think they would take?
I would take him.
Interesting. Yeah,
so
I would not. Well, no,
I would rather have Freeling. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at Freeling, he's big body, outstanding athlete. He's played both left tackle and right tackle. Played a lot more at left tackle. 1,100 snaps at left tackle, 257 at right tackle. He's not the most technically refined guy, but if the Eagles are drafting him, it's not to be a starter right away. Now, you can't discount the fact that a third tackle will play for the Eagles this year, because either Mailata or Lane Johnson will miss some time. It happens almost every year. But I would love the Freeling pick. I less love the Proctor pick, but I'd be okay with it. He's just physically imposing, mountain of a man type guy. He needs a lot of technical refinement, and he's only ever played left tackle, so there's some red flags there. But I think it's different taking a guy that's been a left tackle and saying you're starting right tackle as a rookie versus having a year to work on some things. And he obviously needs some technique work anyways. So Freeling and Proctor were the two that I have down as day one guys.
Interesting. So I had 4 names in rounds 1 to 2. I think the Eagles will consider 5. So this is my personal order. I have Freeling, then Miller, then is it Iheanacho? How do you pronounce his name?
Iheanacho.
I'm never going to get that right. So Max. So Freeling, Miller, Max, Proctor. They're the 4 that I have in the rounds 1 to 2. But I only have the first 3 there in green. I didn't put Proctor in green. And the reason why is because I think there could be a really good scrap between Harry Roseman and Sean Mannion. I don't think Proctor should be playing in an outside zone system.
Okay.
And again, I think sometimes you can get a bit OTT about scheme at this level because they're young and they can work on it. I just don't know if he's too big.
Yeah.
I want him downhill. I want him like a proper condensed, get downfield, duo, heavy runs, gap scheme. I don't really want him. But again, we don't know what Mannion's going to do. So this was my favorite stat I found when researching these guys. Alabama ran wide zone 19 times the past 2 years. That's it. 10th in 24 and 109th in 25 in the FBS. So they don't run outside zone. And if Mannion's going to come in and go and get me an outside zone guy, and Howie goes, yeah, but Proctor's a freak, he's a mammoth. And I'm like, Stoutland's not here anymore, Howie. I don't think that's the guy. However, they might go, well, if it doesn't work, we'll stick him at guard because he's an absolute unit. So we'll do that. And that's possible. I think they'll like the other 2 more. And I do as well in this scheme. I like Blake Miller more. I think he's a bit more steady. He's like your less upside pick. He's just a good player.
He's the safe option.
He's the safe option that I think maybe the Eagles don't always go for, but maybe at tackle they do. I think he's a safe option. And
he's also a 4-year starter at right tackle, by the way.
Exactly. So I would, from what I've just said there, he wouldn't be like the dream. But I would take him. He is my guess if anyone's putting money, which they shouldn't do, but I would put money on Blake Miller. He's the one that I think will be there and will fit the scheme. And the other one I have is Max, however you said his name. I have him above Proctor in my rankings because of basically what I've just outlined about Proctor. I don't think he fits what the Eagles want to do. He's just a freak mover, but he's so raw. And that might be some of my Stoutland bias coming in, get the Eagles a freak who he can work with, and he's not here, but he moves so well. And
I simply would not take him with a first
and he's a
round
3-year
pick.
starter or right tackle as well. Or sorry, I don't know if he's started all 3 years, but he's played right tackle. He's so raw, but I wrote down in my notes, so this is very simple. I just put, he moves like the greats move. And I watch him and I'm like, he just moves well. But don't get me wrong, he's a little bit all over the place. So I wrote for him, if Stoutland was here, I bet Rosen would be desperate for him. He would be incredibly risky in the first, but I bet someone will do it. And it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles are that someone. I would personally feel a lot better about Freeling and Miller than I do about Max and Proctor. The one that I think the Eagles could consider, Shane, which I have as a round 2 guy, is Caleb Lomu.
Yeah.
The whole podcast is going to be me asking you how to pronounce bloody American names because I don't watch any draft stuff, so I don't know who any of these guys are.
To be fair, most of the ones that you are having trouble pronouncing are not American names.
I'll just say about their first names, true. Just Caleb. He's another athletic, really, really, really good mover, and I think he fits very well for the zone scheme they want to run. But he's not really played much right tackle. I don't think he should be the pick at 23, but I know some really like him. For me, he's round 2, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Eagles discuss him. I think one of Freeling or Miller or maybe Max are going to be there, which is why I think I'm quite bullish on them taking a note. But maybe I'm wrong. It's a weak draft class, maybe like 7 offensive line go in the first 20. But yeah, that's who I've got. That was a big discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, Max is an elite athlete that doesn't know how to play tackle. I simply would not take him in the first round. I see the potential, I see the traits, and he would fit well with the Eagles because he's played right tackle. He's not going to start right away. Any team that drafts him with the intention of starting him in the first 2 months of his rookie season, it's going to end very badly. I think he's got sky-high potential, and the Eagles have the ability to basically redshirt him for a year, but it's too rich for me for that projection, especially without Stoutland. And I put him on my day 2 list, but I don't think he's going to be there when they pick at day 2.
That's the
Somebody's
thing,
going to take him much earlier than I would.
It's not a good draft class, let's be real. It's not great. And the guy you pick at 23 this year might be an early second in another year. But for now, maybe it's what they do. Right, let's flip over then, Shane, because we've already spent the time we said on the offense. But I think there's a very good chance. If I'm a fan, I would start learning the name of Freeling, Miller. I don't know if either of them are good enough to trade up for. I mean, I wouldn't for maybe Freeling. Maybe.
I would be okay with a trade up for Freeling.
Yeah. Very, very, like, raw, though.
Yeah.
They're just, basically, I'm so bullish on it because they're just, to me, they're a bunch of Howie offensive tackles. They're just athletic freaks that need coaching. And the Eagles, historically, the past 10 years, love their
and the coach just walked out the door.
Yeah,
because of your stupid offensive coordinator crap, but whatever. Yeah,
but maybe he's still in the building. Who knows? Right.
All right, let's go to edge. I'll throw a name at you. It's actually the only first round edge name that I have down here. What do you think about Keldrick Falk?
Don't like him. I don't personally, as in my own analysis. I don't think the Eagles will take him in the first.
Okay. See, I
think I'm against consensus there. I didn't like him.
So Falk's got an elite size profile. He's versatile in where you can align him, and he's got a strong run anchor. He attacks pullers. He pushes the pocket as a bull rusher. That just screams like, other than the dropping into coverage aspect, that screams Eagles edge to me. Hold the line, push the pocket, let Jalen Carter win on the inside.
You say that, Shane, but look who they've targeted the past few years. They've gone light. They've gone light and physical. Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff, Jalix Hunt. These guys he's like 270. How big?
I mean, Bryce Huff's not a good example. But
it's who they went
paid
after.
Tons of money to get him out of there.
Was he 276 at the combine?
Yeah.
That's big. Like, I think of a Fangio wanting to be able to drop in a coverage, maybe able to like stunts, twists, scheme up pressure. It's big. It's really big.
He's big.
I had him lower. I didn't love the juice. I didn't see the juice. Yeah, see if I'll be wrong. I didn't have him as like a red or anything on my board. I just had him in the second round.
Spring Black Friday is on at the Home Depot. Save on grills and patio sets that will be sure to bring your hosting game up a notch. Fire up your feast with help from the Home Depot and save on grills. Like the Next Grill 4-burner propane gas grill was $249, now on special buy for $199. Or give everyone the best seat in the yard with the Hampton Bay Mayfield Park 4-piece conversation set for only $399. Save on grills and patio sets with low prices guaranteed during Spring Black Friday only at the Home Depot. Now through April 22nd, while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
I think I'm lower on consensus on him.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll pull up the consensus big board.
Obviously, we're ignoring Bain and Bailey here for obvious reasons. I had 3 guys in my rounds 1 to 2. I had no one in my first round. I think they might surprise you.
Falk is 20 on the consensus big board, it looks like.
Yeah. Interesting. So I'm definitely lower. The one that I really like is Malachi Lawrence. He's one of my crushes. I think he's big enough to do the whole run defense thing, 253. Just absolutely wrecked the combine, destroyed it. And I think he just fits what Fangio wants to do. I think he's a really good pass rusher. So he's the one that I would really like. And I think he fits what the Eagles want to do. The other two that I didn't have as green, but I think fit, but I think the Eagles could consider is Messidor. I know he's old.
I'm very out on Messidor.
Just age?
Yeah. Well, it's not just age, but
I think he's good.
I'm not big on guys that break out in their 6th year of playing college football and didn't do much before
that's
that.
the stuff that I'm probably struggling with. I get that.
Like, I've been burned so many
25
times.
years old. I get it. But I think the film
when you
is
have
good.
to be 24 playing 18-year-olds to get double-digit sacks, I just kind of doubt you going to the NFL.
Yeah, I do get it. I do get it. Maybe I should drop him down. Maybe.
I know a lot of people really like him and talk about how he's
him.
one of the better he's one of the better pure pass rushers in the class. He's 21 on the consensus big board, but I think he looks good. He only topped 7 sacks once, and it was in his 6th year at age 24. So I think
I might move down my other one as well. Me and Wannabe are having a Patreon show, by the way, for everyone on Patreon on Thursday, where we're just looking at edge. So I'll save my takes a little bit for that. But I had Cassius Howe, Shane, as well.
Okay.
Just sacks, can bend, can rush. Really, 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 really good first step. He's light. He is going to struggle to set the edge on early downs. He's a little bit of a luxury pick. But I think he fits in terms of what the Eagles want to do in terms of like stunts, twists. I did have him. I'm tempted to move Messidor and Howe down, but I would then have like 9. If I dropped Messidor and Howe down, I would have 9 edges in round 2.
Howell, for what it's worth, also has a lot of experience dropping into coverage.
That's why I liked him. Yeah.
I wonder if he's more of just like a stand-up linebacker, though.
I don't think so, personally. I think he bends, which is always a thing that I look for. Yeah, I've got so many edges in day 2, Shane. For Patreon, when we get into it shortly, edge. That's why I'm convinced Eagles going to go OT and then edge, because it's just the way my board looks. It's like, there's loads of elite offensive tackles, or not elite, but like elite talents. I mean, always like so many edge defenders in the second round, but none of them are really good enough. So yeah, I don't think they'll take one at 23, but I'm sort of dreaming them to take Malachi Lawrence because I really like him. Should we skip linebacker? There's no one at 23, is there?
What about interior D-line? Anybody there?
God, didn't even look there. They all suck. What a crap class.
It's a good class if you need like a nose tackle.
Yeah, in the second round. I've got no one in the first.
I have no interior D-line, no linebackers in the first round.
Yeah. I had CJ Allen in, actually I did. But again, I put him in red. Like, I had him there as a ranking of him, but not who the Eagles are going to take.
Yeah, Yakko is chiming in saying that Messidor only played edge for 2 years. He was a D tackle before that, according to the NFL Stock Exchange.
Yeah,
they were playing him D tackle at 250. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't see him as dropping into coverage and doing what Fangio wants, personally.
Yeah. Okay, on to defensive backs. So I'm going to throw out a name that I think is highly unlikely to be there, but we've seen stranger things. Because he's one of 2 blue chip players for me in this class, and it's Caleb Downs. If he there's been smoke about medical concerns with potential degenerative knee stuff. I mean, well, I'm mentioning him because last year Will Johnson was a red chip player for me, and he fell to the second round. And so this stuff does happen. I don't think it'll happen with Downs, but if Downs falls within trade-up range and you're fine with his knee, I would pull that trigger in a heartbeat because I love Caleb Downs. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I wanted to mention him in case he free falls because we saw that scenario play out last year with Will Johnson, who, well, I didn't have as high as Caleb Downs, but he was a top 10 player for me. So Caleb Downs, would love that. Emmanuel McNeil Warren and Dylan Thieneman, 2 safeties that I would be pretty interested in the first round.
Yeah, I have no corners, obviously.
Same.
They're not going to take a corner in round 1, are they? If Delane, but he's going top 10, isn't he? If he somehow fell, I don't know. Is he going top 10? I assume he is. If he got near, I guess. Because he's amazing.
He is number 10 on the consensus.
Yeah, he's not going. Right, and then the other cornerbacks in this class, there's a couple of interesting ones, definitely in day 2 we'll get into. I have the safeties all in separate tiers. So I have Downs, top 10. Finneman, did you say you pronounce his name?
Tinneman.
Him round 1, and then round 1 to 2, McNeil Warren, and round 2, AJ Halsey. However you pronounce his name, Halsey, whoever the hell he's called. But I really, really, really like Dylan Tinneman. Really like him. I just don't think the Eagles are going to take a safety at 1.
I would love to see it because they backed themselves into a corner, letting Reed Blankenship walk for nothing. But I would like both of those guys. They play different roles.
They do. I think, yeah.
Tieneman's elite athleticism and speed, but he's kind of stiff-hipped. And then
he's like a deep guy to me. Like,
yeah,
you don't want to stick him in single high.
And then Emmanuel McNeil Warren, I think he's better playing closer to the line of scrimmage. But you could play him split field and let him come downhill. So it's like one of them is super fast with not great agility, and the other one has great agility and not like super fast.
Yeah. I would be happy with both. I don't think the Eagles are going to take both. There you go. First round done.
I think the Eagles told you what they think about how important safety is.
Exactly.
And to be fair, they've told us how important they think safety is for a decade now.
I think when we get into the Patreon show, there is so many interesting safety nickel hybrids in this class on day 2 and 3. I think we could be in for a bit of a surprising pick there. There's a lot of names. Right, gun to your heads before we finish up and go over to the Patreon stuff. Who's the pick? If they stay at 23?
If they stay at 23, a player name or a position?
Player name. I'll go first then. I will go Blake Miller if they stick at 23. If they trade up, I think it's Monroe Freeling. And if they trade down, I think maybe it's an edge. I'll say Malachi Lawrence to make me happy.
Yeah, I was going to say Freeling if he makes it to 23. I think he's probably a guy circled on their board. So I do think it'll be offensive tackle in the first round.
Yeah, I feel like it just fits this year. Unless Sadiq's there. I feel like the stars align. And you know me and you have never been big in O-line for a drafting lanes replacement. But I think it's probably the time to get in there. Yeah,
for the last 3 years, I've been saying hold the line when it comes to replacing Lane Johnson.
Right.
And this year, I'm ready to go.
He's still playing. Yeah. Right, good stuff.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for our first round targets. If you're interested in hearing our day 2 targets, seeing us grade some mock drafts very sarcastically, head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Eagles Film Room. Jonny and Wannabe will also have a show talking about edge rushers up later this week. We'll have all kinds of all 22 stuff after the draft on these prospects, so come and check us out there. We'll also have recaps. I think Jonny and I are planning to do a round 1 general recap on Friday after the draft and a full draft recap the week after. So that stuff will be on the public feed. So if you want everything, head over to the Patreon, but we'll have you covered either way. And that's going to do it for this one. So we're going to get out of here and go record some more, and we'll catch you guys next time.